Psalms 1:1 and 2 says this. It says, happy or content is the one who's not walked in the advice of the wicked, or stood in the way of sinners, or sat in the seat of scoffers. But his delight, what he wants, is the Torah, or the instruction of Adonai, of the Lord. And on his instruction, he meditates day and night. So, number one, content is the one who doesn't walk according to the counsel of the wicked. Content or happy is the one who doesn't stand in his path, take his stand in the path of the sinners, of those who are off the mark, right? They're off the right path. And then third, content is the one who doesn't sit or dwell in the seat, in the dwelling of the scoffers, the big talkers. In Hebrew, the word for sit can also be translated as to dwell. So the place you sit is the place where you've chosen to live. So in this verse, there's a progression that we see. It moves from one, who you're listening to two, who are you standing with, to third, who are you dwelling with. Happy is he who doesn't walk according to the counsel of the wicked. It starts with whose advice are you taking? Whose counsel are you listening to? To the wicked? Are we listening to counsel that's rooted in self-centeredness? Do what's best for you. Follow your heart. Happy, content is the one who's not listening to the advice of the self-centered, self-serving ones. Those whose very ways are actually hostile to God's selfless ways. It then goes on to from who are you listening to who are you standing with. Content is the one who doesn't take his stand in the path of the sinners, of those who are off the mark. They're off the right path. Are you standing with sinners, with those who are already off the mark? The path that the Lord has laid out for you is the path that leads to life. It's a path that his boundary markers surround with his warning signs. To be standing off that path is to place yourself in the place of danger, is to put yourself on a path that doesn't lead to life. Who are you listening to? Who are you standing with? And third, where have you set up your residence? Happy is the one, content is the one who doesn't dwell in the dwelling of scoffers. Where is it that you sit? Where's your favorite chair located? Have you set up the place that you live where the scoffer lives? The scoffers are the big talkers. They're the boasters. They sound like they've got it all together. They're characterized by the opposite of humility. They exalt themselves. They talk a big game, but they don't reflect the heart or the values of the Lord. Proverbs 15:12 says that a scoffer dislikes one who corrects him, that he won't go to the wise. Proverbs 3:34 says that the Lord scoffs at the scoffers, but he gives favor, he gives grace to the humble. It's tempting to listen to advice that's self-centered, self-serving. That advice will get you standing on a path that might look good, but it's not a path that leads to life. And that path will progress to a life that sounds successful, but in the end, it ends up leading to destruction. Happy, content, blessed is the one who does not live this way, by that advice, that self-serving advice, by standing in the wrong path, by living a life that's loud but not right. But rather, it says in verse 2, his delight, what he wants, is in the instructions of Adonai. His chafetz, his will, what he wants, what he desires to know, is what the Lord wants, what the Lord desires. I want what you want, Lord. I want to walk in your ways, right? It's not about listening to his instructions, God's instructions, from a place of rote obligation. It's from a wisdom that realizes that his ways lead to life, that he's the giver of life. Why would I want advice or counsel from anyone but him? So I listen to what he says. And then based on his instructions, it says he meditates day and night, right? I'm to be intentional about allowing his instructions to shape my thoughts, guide my decisions, and anchor my heart. When I do that, Psalm 1 says that we're like a tree planted by streams of water, yielding fruit in its season. A tree planted by water is constantly nourished, constantly rooted and strong. It doesn't wither when hard times come because its source of life is steady. When we root ourselves listening to what God has to say, we find strength to withstand trials. We bear fruit of love and joy and peace, even in difficult seasons. If you're looking for true contentment, true happiness and wholeness, it won't be found in self-centered, self-serving counsel. It won't be found on another path that might look interesting, and it won't be found living in the midst of those who live the loudest. It'll only be found in listening to, standing with, and living according to the guidance of the living one, the author of life, the giver of life. So if you've listened to the wrong voices and veered off path today, listen to the voice of the Holy Spirit calling you back to the path he has for you. Listen to his counsel, stand in his path, and live the life he has for you.